Mr. Sledge, may I, with the court's permission, may I just approach you? And I'm just going to show a couple
Yes.
of the jurors as a sample.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Now, Mr. Sledge, is it fair to say that these exhibits, and I've numbered them all, but that they're all advertisements or posters for Jeffrey's work, concerts?
Yes.
And is it fair to say that they range from places all over the United States?
Yes.
And when I say range from, shows, concerts all over the United States. Is that
Yes.
fair?
Yes.
And the date range goes from, this is just from 2014 into 2015. Fair to
Yes.
say?
Yes.
Okay. And if we could just pull up a couple. And this would be with Mr. Kokomo's and the court's permission. Jeffrey Williams exhibit number 220DD. And it should come up on your screen, Mr. Sledge. Could be, or it's maybe to your left, but yes, it's above you too.
Yeah, I think that one might be out of batteries. That's on the.
Yeah, that's indeed.
Mr. Kokomo, can you clear the items on the middle of the screen?
It appears that there's some encryption, Fulton County, on all of the computers, so I'm not sure if it's anything that can be done.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. May I approach your honor?
You may.
Let me just show you this to you. Mr. Sledge, may I approach you?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been admitted, Mr. Williams, or JW exhibit 220DD. Take a peek at that. And is this a performance in Chicago, Illinois?
Yes.
And is it, do you recognize those performers?
Yes.
Tell the jurors who they are.
Birdman and Rich Homie.
And anybody else?
Jeffrey Williams.
Okay. And this is the date. Do you see the date?
Yes. December 26th.
And Christmas time,
Yes.
2015?
Yes.
To your knowledge and observation, and if you don't have one,
Yes.
I do not see, and so I would ask for clarification. If the testimony is that there is a 2015 on this exhibit that I'm looking at, because there is no year of 2015, as Mr. Steele has suggested, unless I'm missing it. If you could just show me, I'd be okay.
first of all,
You can't stand.
it comes from the state of Georgia when they subpoenaed Mr. Williams' Twitter account for 2014 and 15, A and B.
Your Honor,
If I go through all of them, you can see the dates in order.
Your Honor, there is no,
I mean, I think that the objection was that the date might not be, the year date might not be on this one in. I
Look at
don't
Simone
know
Hilton.
Either, so.
All right.
But he's already testified that the entirety of that composite exhibit shows dates from 2014 to 2015. So it's one or the other.
Your Honor, there is a difference that matters. It's a distinction with a difference, because what Mr. Steele is putting up is a picture of Defendant Williams with a young man whom evidence has come out did not associate with Defendant Williams
Now I have-
after a particular time.
Okay.
Now I have a motion.
All right, so we'll take up the motion in just a minute. With regard to this particular exhibit, I don't see a date on it either. Is there a date on it of a year? If not, maybe
I'll do
pick a
the-
different exhibit.
Your Honor, my motion be preserved as timely.
Yes.
Okay, so Brian Steele does not have the dates on here.
Yes.
Let's just flip an exhibit here. How about the next exhibit? Jeffrey Williams exhibit number 220EE. Okay?
It's a December 31st,
Or let the
2015.
jurors see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, go ahead. You can look. It's the same.
It's a December 31st, 2015.
New Year's
New
Eve
Year Eve.
and NYE. Do you know that stands for New Year's Eve?
Yes.
2015.
Yes.
And did that come, does 220EE come shortly after, immediately after 220DD of Jeffrey Williams exhibit?
Yes.
And this one, again, the date on 220DD is in Chicago, and it is on,
26.
thank you, tell the jurors.
December 26th.
And does this help you orient that December 26th on 220DD is 2014?
No.
Okay. Does it help you with 220EE? Is the date New Year's Eve going into 2015?
Yes.
And who is performing on New Year's Eve December 31, 2014, going into January 1st, 2015. Who are the performers?
Jeffrey Williams,
Who else?
Birdman, and Rich McCorn.
Thank you.
So, Your Honor, regarding the objection as to the year of 220DD, I believe that Mr. Steele said the year was December 26, 2015, and that was where the issue was. I'm asking if now it's understood that it's 2014. If we could,
I don't know that we have that understanding because we don't have evidence that, I mean, I realize these are handed to the witness in a particular order, but I don't know that there's any evidence to suggest that the order that they're in is a chronological one. So we still don't have any evidence as to which of the 2 years that other one was. We just know that this one that we're looking at right now, 220EE, is for a concert date, December 31st of 2015 with those performers.
yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Did you want to ask him about another?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm so sick of Adrian Love at this point. Let it go, sister. Let it go.
When you go through these, or you've gone through this, Mr. Sledge,
Yes,
are they performances, and the jurors will have that exhibit out with them. They'll be able to look at it. Are those performances all over the United States?
yes,
I'd like to, did your lawyer show you any potential exhibits yesterday or today?
he showed it to me today.
Then I shouldn't have said yes, I apologize. All right, I'm going to approach with a screenshot. If you need to see the actual potential exhibit, just say I don't recognize the screenshot, okay?
Yes,
Your Honor, I'm showing Mr. Williams number 46, 47, 49.
Right.
These are videos, but I was doing it this way, but if needed, Your Honor, Mr. Kokomo.
All right.
I really think we could make
yes,
I'm really sure that if you were a betting person and we weren't back and counted, I would say that there's probably been at least 25 objections from her
Need to
today.
see the actual item, there's no problem with the court's permission. Mr. Sledge,
yes,
we are going to trim down some of those items for you,
yes,
for me, and we're going to get back to that, okay?
Yes.
I will not, I promise you I'll come back.
yes,
If the state can show again, Mr. Williams' number and what number is it for Jeffrey Williams? 447Y. And if you can just look at it with me for a moment, if you don't mind. Now, do you see at the bottom, if any way to clear the, thank you. You see at the bottom, it says repost, whiz that,
yes,
and then it says, it's tagging at Thugger1. You see that?
yes.
Do you know what a repost is?
Someone else posted it, and it was posted to somebody else posted.
So for an example, if I posted something a week ago and you liked it and you wanted to post it, what would happen?
I hit the repost app, and it'll let me repost it on another date.
So the state was saying that this was done and shown and reposted on January 26, 2015.
Yeah,
Do you remember that in the indictment?
Of course you object. Of course you object.
Object as to the characterization of that question, the testimony.
Okay, yes, I mean, the state would have asked a question and established that through a witness.
It's in the indictment as well. And if you're not familiar, do you remember this being in the
Okay, well,
indictment?
that's just an assertion.
Exactly. So I want to show you, are you ready? What number is it? Actually, can you show it to the prosecution first?
Show it to the haters
What
first,
number is this going to be?
so they can just go ahead and just be haters.
It's going to be Jeffrey Williams, number 256. Y'all.
Not y'all. Did he say y'all?
Is this something new that's not in what you sent before?
True.
Okay,
I'm trimming down.
that's fine. Oh, I got you. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I think they're definitely gonna recess is coming for
Mr.
sure.
Kokomo approach Mr. Sledge.
Yes. you may.
Mr. Sledge, is that okay?
Yes.
Just take a look at this, telling me whether you can recognize it and you can hear it as well, just to make sure, but don't make it loud enough for the jurors yet.
So, Your Honor,
Mhm.
prior to that being displayed, what we have not heard is the sound in that video, because this is the first time we've seen it. So
Right.
we'd ask that before anything be done with it, the state be allowed an opportunity to hear what is being said in that particular video, which is a little different.
I don't know if it's different or not.
It is, I'm looking at it, is not the same exact thing that we just
Okay.
put up.
Okay. Then I guess this will be where we break for.
I
the
knew it.
evening.
You called it, Corey.
I mean, if that matters.
Well,
You called it, Corey.
or we can see if Miss Love can hear it without. Do you want to step out into the hall? That would be easier than excusing all of them to the, all right. She'll be right.
Watch out,
back.
Kokomo. She gonna run off with your
Just a
deal.
sec, and I'll let y'all go soon.
She's gonna steal your bank information. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Let me stop.
Estimate for me how long you think the rest of your cross is going to be.
30 minutes?
Do y'all want to stay for, who else has, if anybody has going to have cross for this witness? Anybody? Okay,
I'd like to hear.
okay. Do y'all want to just, well.
I'd like to hear
y'all
Harvey.
Stay 30 more minutes, although we'll have.
Like to stay or
On Monday.
being forced to stay?
Yes, I have some thumbs up for 30 minutes.
Ooh,
Lots of nods for, okay.
The only
y'all are
issue
gluttons
I
for
just want
abuse.
To make the court on the on the
It's
six,
always that-
on the 62
Yeah,
item, that's the only thing I have to go over, which is going to take a little more time. So I just want you to, I won't finish it. My
all right, yeah. We'll get 30 more minutes and then we'll see where we are. Okay, all right. Then I guess he's already seen it.
Yes.
So go ahead and ask whatever you need to ask.
Mr.
All that
Sledge,
was
have
for
you
nothing.
seen what is now marked as Mr. Williams number 256? Have you seen that before?
Yes.
And is it accurate? And does it depict the way it was when it was first filmed or, yeah, filmed and audioed?
Yes.
And Your
Any-
Honor, two things. I object on the basis of the vagueness of the question. Have you seen it before? I don't know if that means before he was shown by.
Well, can you
Lawyer.
clarify that?
Were you present when that was made?
Yes, I was
Or
present.
is your voice on there?
Yes, my voice is on
Is
there.
it the same as, and I always forget, 447?
Oh.
447Y that was shown to the jurors, the repost?
Yes, my voice on there.
Okay, so on 256.
So stop being petty.
256 is.
Love, just stop.
Is that what you were just asking the questions about he was present for? Okay, all right.
With
Other-
that, I have no
okay.
objection if he's saying he was there.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, Mr. Kokomo will publish Mr. Williams number 256.
All right.
A lot of their kids, a lot of their brothers and sisters, then get ready in the courtroom and tell the God honest truth. Don't get it. Y'all niggas need to get fucking killed, bro.
You snitching bitches.
From me and YSL. So nigga, a lot of they mama, a lot of they kids, a lot of they brothers and sisters, then get ready in the courtroom and tell God and it's true. Don't get it. Y'all nigga get fucking killed, bro.
You snitching bitches.
From me and YSL.
Mr. Sledge, did you hear your voice?
Yes,
The voice of Mr. Jeffrey Williams and the face of Mr. Jeffrey Williams?
yes,
Did you hear the voice of Mr. McMiller?
yes,
Did you hear the voice of Mr. Martinez, also known as Duke?
yes,
Is it the same exact video that was played earlier as the repost?
yes.
I see what he's trying to
And
do.
on Jeffrey Williams number 256, I'd like you to tell the jurors, it's small writing, if you could read it to them, what date at the bottom right was this made?
January 4th, 2015.
And on January 4th, 2015, what was Jeffrey Williams' relationship like with Donovan Thomas from your personal observation?
Objection made.
Overruled.
They had a great relationship.
And does this video on January 4th, 2015 have anything to do, from your own personal knowledge from being in it, about Donovan Thomas or threatening some witness or anything?
No,
Objection, one is compound, so I don't know which part of that he's asking about. And then the second part, he is speaking to the intent of defendant Williams when he says, does it have anything to do with threatening something?
Okay,
That's
well,
me
it's
personally.
his personal knowledge, and while Mr. Steele does ask long questions sometimes, he has a lot of clauses in there. I don't believe it was a compound question, just had a lot of descriptive clauses. So overruled.
So the indictment, and if you don't remember, we'll show it to you. No one's trying to keep anything from you. Says that this was done 16 days after the killing of Mr. Williams, that it was reposted. But this was made 6 days before, God forbid, the killing of Mr. Thomas, right?
yes,
Now, if you can look at the very top right-hand side, you see where it says, watch your post. You see that at the top?
yes,
And then underneath it, it says, watch your post. And then it says, best said at MPA Duke, DUKE 1, the number 1, said it first, 3 exclamation points. You see that?
yes.
Who, to your knowledge, is MPA Duke 1?
Objection.
Mr.
Oh, she can
Arnold.
say it.
Martinez Arnold?
Yes,
I knew it.
And then it says, video by at Thugger1 pound YouTube pound Young Thug pound Thugger1 pound Urban Post. You see all that?
yes,
Okay. And when it says best said at MPA Duke 1 said it first, that's Mr. Arnold
yes,
saying it first.
Objection, Your Honor, as to that.
Yeah, sustained as to that.
All right. Now, I want to ask you other questions if I can. Before January 4th, 2015, were you familiar with this type of statement?
yes,
Now, if a witness, when it says at the end, the prosecutor said, y'all should be killed. Let me make sure hold on one second. Y'all should be killed, and that's from me and YSL. Do you remember that?
yes,
If I didn't quote it perfectly, something to that effect?
yes, okay.
From being there and being a participant in this video, which is 256, Jeffrey Williams 256, what do you believe should happen to a witness who lies about someone in trial?
Objection.
Oh, come on.
Sustained.
All right, let me ask you this. You were released from prison from the drive-by shooting. Remember, the jurors heard a lot about that, April 2015?
Yes,
And is it fair to say you were released in the year 2019?
yes,
And when you were released from prison, you needed a job, didn't you?
yes,
You were financially
In need of a job.
You didn't have much money?
no,
All right. And is it fair to say that Jeffrey at that time was even more popular than he was in 2015?
yes,
And did Jeffrey offer you a job?
yes,
Was it conditional? Did you have to promise something?
no,
How about no more crime?
no,
You object to him being,
Draw that objection?
see, she just want to say something.
You can't commit
Objection.
crimes.
That right there is hearsay.
Sustained.
When you were on tour with Jeffrey and from your personal observations, I'm not asking you what other people said or anything. Did you ever observe people who would steal from other people, from stores or anything like that, and Jeffrey would find out about it and repay those people?
Yeah.
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Sustained.
Well, I think it's relevant. You're the leader of a supposed organization.
I object on the whatever the speaking objection is about to be.
I think it's relevant, more than relevant,
Your Honor,
to the conduct after this trial.
his character, he's trying
That's
to
not-
get into character.
Sustained.
evidence.
All right.
I'm here for this. Somebody make me a clip of all these objections. Her saying objection. I'll give you credit. I will.
Do you remember seeing in the days before Donovan Thomas was killed? Do you ever remember seeing,
Objection.
personally seeing Mr. Kenneth Copeland with an Infinity vehicle?
No,
When you drove Mr. Copeland to the police department on the early morning hours of January 11th, 2015, is that true?
yes,
And your significant other, the mother of your child, was with you, as well as your youngest child at that time, right?
it was he my youngest child, my oldest son.
Apologize. Okay. And
What?
Mr. Copeland didn't have a car there, right? That's why you drove him? Am I correct?
He didn't have a car there.
Do you remember at all whether Mr. Copeland asked you to pick him up and drive him to Jeffrey Williams' house with you for safety?
I don't remember that.
Okay. Do you know how, as you sit here today, do you remember how Mr. Copeland, if you know, got to Jeffrey Williams' home on January 10th, 2015?
I don't know.
All right. Has Jeffrey ever paid for your lawyer fees?
No,
Has he ever paid for your bond?
no,
Your Honor? I believe except for the, I have to break down the 62, which I probably can't do in a short period of time. I don't have any other questions.
Okay, well, so is your plan to,
I'll try to do it, with the court's permission, I'll try to do it with Mr. Wright and figure out if there's a quick way to get it through. I'm not going to speak with Mr. Slade. I don't mean any disrespect, but I'll go through it.
Your Honor, would the court permit outside of the jury's presence for the question to be placed upon the witness so that the court can hear?
sure, yeah,
fine with
that
me.
may be a better way to do it. Okay, all right, so we are going to break for the day and for the weekend, and I am going to remind all of
What did
you
y'all think? Tell me what you meant. What you meant.
to not talk about the case with anybody. Don't let anybody talk about it with you. You are only supposed to decide this case based on the evidence admitted inside this courtroom, so don't conduct any research on your own. Don't try to find out anything on the internet or from old school sources or from other people, from social media. Don't do research about
Stay out of the
law.
chat.
Do not
We do
read,
not
watch,
accept the
listen to
jurors in the
any
chat
accounts of
anymore.
this trial online, in print, television, otherwise, radio, social media, anything like that.
Get him, Judge Whitaker. Get him.
And leave your notes in the jury room, and we will see you on Monday at 9. Okay, go ahead.
Your chair is a mess.
Excellent.
Okay, Mr. Kokomo. Have those- Mr. Sledge,
yes,
I'm going to ask the court, there's no jury here, but we're still in trial, okay?
yes,
I'm going to ask with the court's permission to approach you and show you. And I'm just going to pick out a few. Just tell me whether you have ever seen these postings online before this week, okay? Is that okay?
yes, yes.
And I'm going to target a couple, but it's going to take me a moment, but I think I could target a few.
Hey, Your Honor, if Mr. Steele would simply apprise the court and counsel for the state which ones he's targeting and approaching him with, so we could at least write it down.
I'm
Yeah,
going
sure
to do
he'll
that. Can Mr. Kokomo and I approach this for a minute, Your Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Sledge, can we come to you?
Yes,
And just be real clear of exactly what you're asking him, not post like this.
And that's kind of what, in my opinion, I think that's what Judge Whitaker was trying to say. Is like you've already kind of solidified it. I think it's pretty solid that there are
Yeah.
other people that are doing the nose thing and other people that are saying slime and whatever like that. So I do think he's kind of made his point.
I don't know, is this like a scheduling?
At this moment, I kind of, it's ex parte. In my opinion, I think he's going a little above and beyond. Thank you, man, so much. Innocent bystander. I'm glad that you're here. Definitely want to check out what you're doing. If I could have the moderators, I don't know if they did. If you would drop the innocent bystander channels link in the chat so we can all check out what he's doing over there. I need to do some other things, Bora Bora. No, there's some great lawyers there. There's some fantastic lawyers, and they're definitely very intriguing, great personalities and such like that. I didn't talk to this guy, Sledge's attorney, but maybe I'll talk to him next week because he's gonna be there next week. But yeah, Simone said I got to go. Oh, is she gone? She said the wind is in my sail. I'll let you, girl. We gone. Holla. Absolutely. Wait, you for real? You really leaving? Yeah, I'm really leaving. How dare you go? Are you just gone? Love looked like love left. Love is left alone. All right, what are they doing now? What are y'all doing? Y'all do realize that y'all be talking too long. This is y'all.
Mr. Wright has brought it to my attention that he's now under subpoena, a state subpoena. However, he is serving as Mr. Sledge's lawyer, and he's obviously been sitting in here. And I think it would be appropriate for him to continue to sit in here for the remainder of Mr. Sledge's testimony since he's serving as his lawyer. Is the state gonna have any problem with that?
Not at
All
all.
right, and then y'all aren't gonna make any kind of, okay, all right, that's fine.
I didn't hear
Just
what
wanted to
happened.
clarify that.
Yeah, thank you so much, retired.
Okay.
Very gracious, innocent
And is
bystander. Thank you
this
so
like
much.
a cautionary potential subpoena, or is he gonna, I mean, are you gonna let him know when you expect him to, he's got other business, obviously, after he finishes as his attorney role. Will you let him know when he needs to be back?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, that's the only reason I'm asking. Okay. All right, are y'all ready with your next one?
She got a Pilates
Okay.
class. Hilton said, I got my Pilates
Well,
class
great.
at
Call it
6. I got to be
225.
there.
Okay, and it'll just be
No,
that
no, I
one.
said it wrong.
255.
255. Even.
Just 255.
We'll call it 25 with the court's permission, and then we'll just start with that on whatever you tell us.
All right, and it'll just
That
be
chair
that
is a
one,
mess. I don't know why they did that.
And we'll
You suspect
rearrange
you'll
it.
be pretty much done at that point.
I actually turned the page. I have more, but yes, it's not much.
I mean,
It'll be
that's
15 minutes,
Okay.
20 minutes.
All right,
But I'm going to start with that, and we'll make it just one, like exhibit,
Okay.
one thing. So we'll crop it.
that works.
So the only tweet now that is that 255A consists of is GMAC conveyed.
There's no A though. There's no
Yeah,
A.
it's not, it's just gonna be 255. But yes, is
And-
that right?
And it's December 27, 2014.
All right, thank you.
That's the one we'll use.
Okay,
I just have one thing to
Yeah, what is that
the
about?
record.
okay. Are we finished with Mr. Sledge for the day?
Except Mr. Wright, I'd like to stay just for a minute.
Okay, so are we finished with Mr. Sledge?
I'm finished with him. You could say on whatever the court wants, but yes, I'm not asking
Okay.
him any questions.
You may step out and we'll see you at 9 on Monday.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm sure Mr. Wright will be out in a minute if you want to wait for it.
I want to talk about that. Bora Bora, thank you. Yeah,
So
see,
it's not
she got caught on this.
my desire to say that, a prosecutor or any lawyer or anybody told someone, don't say something in front of the jury. But,
Yeah.
I cleared that with Mr. Wright, and I want the court to note that the state never put us on notice. It's not Brady, because with due diligence, I found out about it. So I'm not saying it's a violation of Brady, but it's just not the way, if believed, it's not the way that I was understand that lawyers conduct themselves. So I'm sure that I wasn't there. I'm sure that Ms. Love will say whatever she says, or maybe say that didn't happen, but I just
Or
want to believe-
maybe it didn't happen in quite that way, but
I
I
just want to
don't know if Ms. Love wants to say anything.
I
or
just
not.
want you to know that I cleared it with Mr. Wright beforehand. And he was on the actual Zoom. So I just want you to know that I didn't speak with Mr. Sledge without Mr. Wright. So
Okay,
thank you.
Just a small follow-up. And of course, Mr. Wright will have the ability to say what Mr. Wright recalls, but I believe that Mr. Wright informed Mr. Steele before Mr. Steele asked that question, that he has no recollection of that ever being stated by me to Mr. Sledge. But I'll let Mr. Wright speak for Mr. Wright. And I inquired, I know that I would not say that. So whatever Mr. Sledge said, Mr. Sledge said. I don't know how the question was posed. I don't, that's all right. It'll happen on redirect. We can flesh it out. But this notion about, I mean, all of that, you know, Mr. Steele can ask whatever questions he wants to ask, and Mr. Sledge can answer however he feels he needs to. I'll handle that on redirect.
Your
All
Honor,
right.
you
Yes.
allowed me to continue, so I don't have to ask the jurors to leave, but I made a motion.
Oh, yes, yes.
And Mr.
Thank you
Matthews
for reminded me of that.
And what happened was, and please check the record, but what I remember happening was Ms. Love makes a speaking objection, comments, puts her own testimony before the jury and states that the testimony, that there's no evidence and it's already been proven. And I know that there's a strained relationship between Jeffrey Williams and Rich Homie Quan. That is wrong. Rich Homie Quan has given interviews shortly after January 10th, 2015, all the way up to 2024, consistently how close he and Jeffrey Williams are. The prosecution said that Rich Homie Quan, his real name is Mr. Lamar, that he was coming to court and he would be testifying. And the prosecution did not call him. He was on a short list. He was under subpoena. They did not call him. I have a good faith belief. They didn't call him because, what? I'm sorry?
Yeah, you need to.
I have a good faith belief that the state did not call him because he gave exculpatory information about his relationship with Jeffrey Williams. So for the prosecutor to then say in front of the jury, and please check the record to make sure that what I'm saying is what was said by Ms. Love, but I immediately would have made this motion if you did not allow me to preserve it. And a lawyer can't tell the testimony. This is what happened. Brian Steele knows this. That is untruthful. In fact, I know the opposite.
Wow. All right. So my recollection is that Miss Love
Run the
said
tape.
the evidence shows that after a certain date, one of the people in this picture no longer hung around Mr. Williams.
Okay, good.
That's a
That-
closer
That is not true.
account.
What the state was trying, their crazy theory, in my opinion, is that in the fall of 2014, Mr. Williams somehow cared about Rich Homie Quan signing with a third party. His name is Mr. Brian Williams, which is Birdman.
Right.
And somehow that because Donovan Thomas said, no, Mr. Rich Homie Quan, don't sign with Birdman, that Jeffrey Williams has now a motivation to kill Donovan Thomas. None of that comes out. And it's untruthful. As you saw, they are playing together, they being Jeffrey Williams and Rich Homie Quan, on New Year's. Of
Well, you know what? There are
2014.
plenty of band members who play together and hate each other. So them playing together doesn't establish anything. But so Miss Love, you maintain that it is in evidence. So can you
That there was,
what part of the evidence and who said it?
yes, and I would ask if the court has in front of it my exact words, or if there's a way
I
to
don't
grab.
have
Okay,
their exact words in front of me, but I'm sure we can get them by Monday.
okay.
But it was.
So what I was referring to was the testimony that has been given that after a certain date, at least one witness, there may have been two, testified that the relationship between one person in that photograph and defendant Williams changed. I can definitely say that I can definitely say that apart from that testimony that the jury has already heard, personally, I definitely have a great faith basis
Okay, but that's
for
not what
saying
you
it, but
said.
that is not what I said. I said what I was referring to the second part of what was asserted by counsel.
Do you know which witness or witnesses it would have been? Because I think Miss Weaver's probably transcribed
It-
a good bit of this and she's pretty fast. I'm happy to ask her to.
I believe it would have been Mr. Thomas Sr., who was asked about the relationship between one of the people in the photograph or having seen them
Right.
after a certain time,
And then
or that it
who
was
else?
strained. That's why I'm asking. And then I'm not certain whether Detective Dennis talked about it. That I'd have to look back.
Okay.
but-
Why don't you look back? I mean, did
That-
Mr. Thomas Senior testify for any real length of time? I mean,
He
would
was
that
there
be
for a
easy?
day.
Okay, that'd be easy enough for Miss Weaver to put together. I'd imagine Mr.
And-
Dennis testified for longer.
Yes,
All right.
but
Maybe you could look at your notes on that and maybe pinpoint that more directly, and then I could ask Miss Weaver, with
I
some
will.
parameters, maybe.
and I'll also just check with the team because it's not been a topic that has been discussed. So we've discussed those things anyway, and I can clarify because it was not. It was, I think that was Miss Hilton's witness, so she probably have a better memory than me. But the reason that I asked exactly what I said is because I think I chose my words carefully before I said them.
Okay.
And I want to make certain of exactly what I said, and I want to point back to exactly what I was referring to.
Okay. And Miss Winfrey over the weekend will be kind enough to find us that little portion of Miss Love's statement that resulted in Mr. Steele having a motion and saying, can I just bring it up later, and me saying yes. And then we'll take all that up first thing on Monday.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
the point is, a lawyer, I do remember the father attempting to say things like that, but he couldn't explain later photographs, whatever, that goes to weight.
What?
But the issue is a lawyer to tell a jury what the evidence is testifying.
Right.
It's inappropriate.
Your Honor, what I think was inappropriate was attempting to mislead the jury by asserting that a photograph that Mr. Steele was aware was taken, or at least that particular concert or whatever, that was not a December 2015 concert as he stated to Mr. Sledge, and Mr. Sledge said yes. Even after Mr. Steele put up the next flyer or whatever it was and led Mr. Sledge by saying, this happened December 2014.
That
New
was
Year's Eve
actually
2015.
that was 2015.
That was it was going into 2015. The second one
So that was 2014.
yes.
Okay.
The first one was 2014.
All of those.
And so when Mr. Steele said, the reason that I said that I objected the way I did is that Mr. Steele said that posting that was defense exhibit.
Oh my gosh, y'all, come on. This is ridiculous. For real though. Come on.
So when people say New Year's Eve 2015, they actually mean December 31st, 2014.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
That's what they meant.
So, Your Honor.
But
and
Your
what
Honor, may I
happened-
finish
excuse me
before
just one
he's
second.
allowed? May I finish before Mr. Steele is allowed?
Yeah, let's see what Ms. Love was saying. Go ahead.
So at the time that Mr. Steele put up the flyer and suggested before this jury that flyer was for an event in December 2015,
Yeah.
that I objected because, and what I didn't say, what I wanted to say, which was he knows full well that wasn't December 2015, but I said that there has been evidence of something different.
Okay. Well, that probably wasn't the best way to handle it.
And if I'm not saying I did, but I may have misspoke. If I misspoke on a date, I wasn't doing it deliberately. And the objection is that shouldn't be 2015. Are you sure, Mr. Steele? Or Your Honor, I don't think that's 2015. And the
I don't think that
evidence
that's a-
shows,
No.
and the evidence shows that there was no relationship. They weren't speaking. That's what I'm complaining about.
Yeah. She said the evidence shows. Okay. I mean, that may
I
not
wanna
have
know
been
what
the
I said.
absolute best way to handle it. And I do wish that both of y'all, y'all clearly get under each other's skin and try to divorce from the case the fact that each of you is the attorney handling certain evidence or certain witness, because honestly, both of you probably would do your tasks for your clients better if you could focus a little less on the fact that y'all get on each other's nerves. Okay. I mean, you do not have to, it does not have to be like a gladiator fight every time anybody says anything when it's the two of you. It doesn't
They don't
come
like each
off
other.
well for anybody, honestly.
Wow.
That's just my 2 cents worth.
Thank you, Your
I'd
Honor.
also like to say that
I
every
appreciate that, Your
evidentiary objection does not need to be made, even if it's a valid one. So think about that too.
Yes,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Anything else?
Don't keep saying anything
Your
else.
Honor, just that I'll just await Miss Winfrey's
Okay.
snippet.
Okay. All right. I hate to do this, y'all.